Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. I'm back to break down this 10-game NBA DFS slate on DraftKings. Before we get into it, if you do enjoy the content at any point in this video, if you could please leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell, that would be greatly appreciated. YouTube tells me about 60% of my audience is not subscribed, so if that is you and you do enjoy the content, if you could just take 1 second to hit that subscribe button, I would greatly appreciate it. And before we get into it, I do offer an NBA DFS package over here on Patreon where you can get access to my premium NBA projections, my NBA data sheet, player stats, team stats, play context stats, core plays, injury impact insights, and NBA Discord chat access. I've gotten a lot of good feedback on that. The goal being an affordable package where you can get access to tools like these other big sites offer at a more affordable price. So these other big sites are offering, projections, rankings, data sheets and all this stuff for like $30, $40 a month. I've gone ahead and put this package together for about $9.99 a month. So go ahead and check that out if interested. And lastly, I have recently partnered with Thrive Fantasy. Thrive Fantasy is a player props app over here, very similar format to DraftKings and FanDuel as far as their tournament entries, except you do pick player props. It's a really cool concept. You can use promo code KJK DFS to receive a 100% deposit bonus when you deposit $20 or more today, all the way up to $50. So if you deposit anywhere from $20 to $50, guys, they will match your deposit. Upon sign up, immediately it's an instant deposit. And so how this would work is you have to pick 10 out of the 20 options they give you. You pick the over under. The more likely that it is to happen, the less points you get. The less likely that it is to happen, you get more points. So it's a risk-reward format. It's really cool. I'm really enjoying it. And go ahead and check out Thrive Fantasy today. Use promo code KJK DFS to receive that deposit bonus. Free money. Take advantage while you can. And with all that being said, let's go ahead and start breaking down this slate today. First game on the slate, Indiana at Charlotte. Domantas Sabonis at the top comes in with a 9.2 price tag. This game comes in with a 219.5 over under with a 3.5 point spread in favor of the Indiana Pacers. So not exactly the fastest paced game. A 219.5 total isn't exactly going to blow your socks off. So I'm sure as long as we are going along the slate here, there's going to be other options we're going to have more interest in. However, with that being said, Domantas Sabonis and Malcolm Brogdon continue to be usage monsters with no more Victor Oladipo on the team. Both of these guys continue to see a bunch of usage, and both of them are valid plays every time out just because of how much of a bump they have gotten. Not to mention, both of them have seen their price tags dip. Domantas Sabonis price tag coming down from 9.5 to 9.2. And Malcolm Brogdon's price tag coming down from 8.6 to 8.4. So never hurts to see the price tag decrease a little bit, and their usage is still going to be there. So both those guys make a lot of sense tonight. Miles Turner is a viable option at 7.2. It's just battling with Domantas Sabonis on the boards. A little inconsistent. I mean, we have seen him put up 49 DraftKings points. He does definitely have the upside. It's just we do prefer Domantas Sabonis. Of course, Miles Turner is a lot cheaper, so if you go there and he's able to put up 50 DraftKings points compared to Domantas Sabonis putting up 50 DraftKings points at 9.2, you'd be real happy with that. But you get the point. I think Domantas Sabonis is cutting into his usage a little much. Gordon Hayward, Terry Rozier, Devontae Graham, the story kind of remains the same. All these guys are seeing upper 30s in minutes. All these guys are seeing a bunch of opportunities. So all of them make sense as plays for sure. It's just a matter of LaMelo Ball coming in off the bench and cutting into these guards' usage. But at their price tags at 6.6, at 6.6 for both Devontae Graham and Terry Rozier, based on their fantasy point per minute production and based on the amount of minutes they're getting, they can always get you there. It's just probably more than likely only one of them is going to get there. So pick your poison. Terry Rozier does have multi-positional eligibility, so you can fit him in at the shooting guard as well, whereas Devontae Graham, you have to play him at the point guard position. So something to take into account there. LaMelo Ball at 5.8 is interesting now. I mean, for some reason, his minutes have been cut. He was playing like 30 minutes a game. He's putting up 61, 44, 46 DraftKings points at some points, and now he's put up 30, 20, and 20. He's all the way down to 5.8, so I'm finally thinking it might be time to hop back on the LaMelo train here because he could definitely blow that price tag away really easily. And if he gets to like 50 DraftKings points at 5.8, you're going to be looking real good in tournaments. So LaMelo Ball is definitely intriguing tonight. Jeremy Lamb, Doug McDermott, TJ McConnell, all these guys getting minutes off the bench. However, I think they're all kind of cutting into each other enough to where I'm not trying to go to any of these guys. So that's pretty much the extent of my interest in this one. Moving further along, Atlanta at Washington. This game is going to be fast, fast, fast. Excited to play guys from this one. Right now, the game comes in with a 232 over under 4.5 point spread in favor of the Atlanta Hawks. So, yeah, a lot of interest to be had in this one. Bradley Beal, Trae Young, Russell Westbrook, all these guys, very good fantasy point per minute producers. We're looking at Bradley Beal, 1.47 DK points per minute. We got Trae Young, 1.36. Russell Westbrook, 1.40. They're priced up, and they're priced up for a reason. Now, Russell Westbrook did just return from an injury, so keep an eye on if his minutes are going to be limited. We've seen him play 25 and 28 the last 2 times out. I tend to think after playing 2 games, after receiving 2 days of rest now, or getting some reps in practice and conditioning, we're going to see Russ back up to where he was, I hope, because he makes a lot of sense of a play. Bradley Beal at 10-2 is kind of priced up to the point now where, they're pricing him as if either Russell Westbrook is out or he's limited. However, with that being said, Bradley Beal's production has just been really, really good, and his shot volume has been ridiculous. He has shot 37, 28, 29, and 22 times. So getting a ton of shots. He makes a lot of sense as a play. Clint Capella at 8-9. Could definitely have interest in him. Speaking of fantasy point per minute production, this guy has been very good as well. We're looking at 1.38 DK points per minute. Very effective when he's on the floor, and he has been seeing upwards towards more 40 minutes when it's a competitive game. So I love him in this matchup taking on Washington. They don't really have any bigs that could stop him. And then, David Bertans, Rui Hachimura are both expected to be back. So after being out with COVID-19 protocols, we're going to see this Washington rotation get kind of bundled up again. I'll be interested to see how these guys grid out in my projection model, but we have a ton of guys now in the front court. Davis Bertans, Rui Hachimura, Robin Lopez. We were playing Matthews. We have Nito, Isaac Bonga, Alex Len, Jordan Bell, Mo Wagner. Who knows where these minutes are going to go. But I will say Mo Wagner at a 3-2 price tag, if he's getting minutes, is an interesting option. So, as always, keep an eye on my projections and have a better idea of where I'm at later in the day. Kevin Huerter and DeAndre Hunter both make a lot of sense. Like, as mentioned, this game is a huge total. DeAndre Hunter would be my favorite option of the two at 6'3", getting a ton of minutes, getting a ton of production. I really like him. Kevin Huerter is very scoring reliant, but when he does get hot, he can absolutely stroke it from behind the arc, so he could have a big game at his price tag at 5'8". So, a lot of interest to go around, and then you got Danilo Gallinari at 4'3". His minutes have been limited since coming back from injury, only playing about 14 minutes. If we get news that he's going to be free in the sense of his minutes cap, I would absolutely love him at his price tag. Milwaukee at New Orleans. Giannis Antetokounmpo comes in at 10-8. This game comes in with a 228.5 over-under with a 7-point spread in favor of the Milwaukee Bucks. So, pretty close spread for Milwaukee. Milwaukee typically a team that's heavily favored in pretty much every game, so 7-point spread isn't terrible. I can live with that. Giannis at 10-8 always grades out as a great play if you can stay in the game and it's a competitive one. It looks like this one will be somewhat competitive. We've seen him put up 57 and 63 DraftKings points the last 2 times out, playing around 40 minutes in each game, being somewhat competitive. The Atlanta game got away there at the end, but we'll still have to get to 57. If this game stays competitive, Giannis has 70-plus fantasy point upside every time out. So it's just a matter of if we have the value to get there, and then not to mention we do have a lot of pay-up options at the guard position in this Atlanta-Washington game that I mentioned I like a Trae Young, like a Russell Westbrook, like a Bradley Beal. So roster construction is going to be pivotal as far as that's concerned. Chris Middleton at 8-4. You could play, sure. I think his upside's a little capped at that price tag. Zion Williamson, Drew Holiday make a lot of sense running it back on the New Orleans side. Of course, don't forget about Brandon Ingram, but Zion Williamson, Drew Holiday, Brandon Ingram, the big three here as far as the New Orleans side's concerned. Well, I'm grouping Drew Holiday with their team. Obviously, Drew Holiday is on the Milwaukee Bucks. He was formerly on the New Orleans Pelicans. I'm grouping him in their price tag, not saying he's on not on New Orleans anymore, so sorry, didn't mean to confuse you there. Eric Bledsoe on the other side was part of the trade, so he's playing his former team on the New Orleans side. 36 and 34 minutes the last 2 times out, 41, 32 DraftKings points, so his upside is definitely showing. If Lonzo Ball is out, I will like Eric Bledsoe even more. Lonzo Ball is listed as questionable, so keep an eye on that one. That could open up some more usage for Nickeil Alexander-Walker at 4-2 as well, making him an intriguing value option. So if Lonzo Ball is out, keep an eye on that. JJ Redick is all the way down to 3K now. There have been talks of JJ Redick and Lonzo Ball being thrown around in trade talks, so maybe trying to get rid of them. But if JJ Redick's getting like 20 minutes at 3K, he can crush that price tag with his ability to shoot the 3-ball. So keep an eye on his price tag and keep an eye on Lonzo Ball's status. And yeah, that's pretty much an overall breakdown there. My favorite option based on his price tag on the Milwaukee side is Jrue Holiday. My favorite guy based on his price tag on the New Orleans side is Eric Bledsoe. And when you factor in that both of these guys have a little bit of an extra motivation taking on their former teams, like both of them for sure. Cleveland taking on New York. Julius Randle comes in with a 9.3 price tag. This game comes in with a 207.5 over under with a 1-point spread in favor of the Cleveland Cavaliers. Very slow-paced game. Dreadful pace. I mean, barely over 200 points is rare to see in today's NBA, and I'm really not looking to go to much in this game for that reason. Going to be limited possessions. Julius Randle's price all the way up to 9.3. Could he get you 50 DraftKings points? Sure. Do I think there's other guys that are cheaper that can get you 50 DraftKings points? Yes, that we talked about, like a DeAndre Hunter, who's in a higher pace game. At the power forward position, I'd rather be playing him. So, yeah, you get my gist there. Andre Drummond continues to be a great fantasy point per minute producer, but has seen his production cut in since Jarrett Allen has come over to the team. He's only playing like 28 minutes a game. He's still putting up like 50 DraftKings points, though, so it's kind of a catch-22. Getting less minutes, putting up more fantasy points almost. It's like 48, 59 DraftKings points the last 2 times out. So, honestly, if I'm telling you not to fade one guy from this game, it probably would be Andre Drummond based on his price tag and his upside. Colin Sexton makes a lot of sense for his usage on the other side at 6.7 as well. He's cheap enough to I could be playing him. Same rule applies for RJ Barrett. And that's where my interest kind of cuts off. Mitchell Robinson, Chetty Osman, Elfrid Payton, all these guys. I mean, sure, they could get you there, but their usage is capped in a big way compared to these other guys we've talked about so far. Their minutes are capped in a big way compared to these other guys. Jarrett Allen off the bench at 5.2. Feel free. Torian Prince also an option at 4.7. But it's just such a slow-paced game, guys. I don't know. We'll see how these guys grade out in my projections. Austin Rivers, maybe, if Alec Burks is out. He is listed as questionable. But it looks like he's more so probable. So I have liked Alec Burks a lot off the bench at 5.1. He makes sense to play. But other than that, I mean, this game's just so slow. It's tough to really promote anything and feel great about it. Sacramento at Detroit. Sacramento at Toronto. Right now, this game comes in with a De'Aaron Fox has an 8.5 price tag. This game comes in with a 229 over under, 5.5 point spread in favor of the Toronto Raptors. So 229 total is pretty respectable. I mean, that's only a few points shy of the 232 total that we discussed in that Washington-Atlanta game. So this game's actually expected to be pretty high scoring. As far as my favorite options, De'Aaron Fox does make a lot of sense at 8.5. The problem is his price tag is up there. We're paying 8.5 for De'Aaron Fox when we could play Buddy Hield at 6.5. Literally $2,000 cheaper. Buddy Hield was one of my favorite options last time out. Played 38 minutes. He put up 50.75 DraftKings points. I think we continue to see him shine in this matchup. OG Anunoby is listed as questionable. If he's out, that's going to give a bump to guys like a Norman Powell, to guys like a Chris Boucher. More wing minutes for him than those guys if OG Anunoby's out. So keep an eye on that news because I would definitely like Norman Powell and Chris Boucher. Norman Powell playing 41 minutes last time, putting up 41 DraftKings points. Chris Boucher last time out playing 13 minutes against Milwaukee. So his minutes are really inconsistent, kind of hard to track, kind of hard to know when they're playing him. But if he gets the opportunity, he can go off in a very short time. So he makes a lot of sense. Not to mention the other starters would get a bump in usage as well. Pascal Siakam, Kyle Lowry, Fred VanVleet. All these guys will continue to see a usage bump, and all of them get a lot of minutes. This rotation is very solidified, so all these guys make a lot of sense as plays for sure in this one. Rashawn Holmes on the other side at 6.6 is a very intriguing play as well, putting up 41 and 40 DraftKings points the last 2 times out, getting consistently mid-30 minutes, up to 40 minutes a game. And this guy can absolutely go off for sure, too. So 6.6, he makes a lot of sense as a play. Then you could throw in Harrison Barnes and Marvin Bagley, Halliburton. All of these guys have, an opportunity for upside. Harrison Barnes putting up 44, 37 DraftKings points the last 2 times out. He makes sense as a play. Marvin Bagley, Halliburton. A little more inconsistent, but the upside is there for these guys is my point. I would prefer playing Buddy Hield and De'Aaron Fox. However, Buddy Hield and De'Aaron Fox are priced up higher and for a good reason. So you get a discount with these guys. You get an upside at their price tag, so they are intriguing options. Philadelphia taking on Minnesota. Karl Anthony Towns is out. Joel Embiid is questionable. D'Angelo Russell is questionable. Looks like, Joel Embiid is a true questionable. As far as D'Angelo Russell is concerned, he is a true questionable as well. So keep an eye on both of these guys. If they are out, of course, that's going to give a usage bump up to their teammates. So we'd be looking to Ben Simmons, Tobias Harris. On the Minnesota side, we'd be looking to Malik Beasley, Ricky Rubio, Naz Reid, and Vanderbilt continue to be intriguing plays with no Karl Anthony Towns. And I would really like Seth Curry, Danny Green, Dwight Howard down here at these cheap price tags on the Philly side because, as mentioned in my previous videos, if you are new to the channel, Minnesota is absolutely dreadful defensively, and I love targeting them. It's been very profitable for me on the season, and I would love targeting them in this one as well. Shake Milton even, if there's no Embiid, and these guys are going to get more minutes, more usage. Would love all of these guys for sure. As far as the Vegas lines are concerned and everything, with some guys being questionable, none of the over-under hasn't been released. It is a 7.5 point spread currently in favor of the Philadelphia 76ers. So if Embiid gets out, that spread could change, of course. So keep an eye on that one. Yeah, I mean, we're waiting on the injury news. If Embiid's in, he's a great play at 9-4. I would love him taking on this Minnesota squad. If he's out, Ben Simmons and Tobias Harris become priorities for me. D'Angelo Russell, same rule applies to him at 8-2. I would really like him because he's getting a bunch of usage with no Karl Anthony Towns. If we find out he's going to be a full go, a full run, I really like him. If both these guys are out, as mentioned, I already went through it, but Ben Simmons, Tobias Harris, Malik Beasley, Naz Reid, Vanderbilt, Ricky Rubio, all make sense. And then you got these cheaper guys on Philadelphia, and you can play some cheaper guys on Minnesota as well, like a Josh Okogie and Ed Davis, but not exactly my top options. I'd really be looking to Malik Beasley, Naz Reid, Vanderbilt, Ricky Rubio, Anthony Edwards maybe, but hasn't exactly been the best fantasy point producer. He did have a big game last time out, putting up 40 DraftKings points, so rookie's an intriguing option, a little high-risk, high-reward option there. Moving further along, Brooklyn at OKC. We got James Harden priced all the way up to 10-3. This game comes with an 8.5 point spread with a 230.5 over-under. Decent total for sure. Only concern is a blowout. Only concern is that Brooklyn blows out OKC in this one. If that happens, you're not going to get the full ceiling from a guy like James Harden, Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving. With that being said, Kevin Durant continues to be my favorite option, taking on his former team in OKC. James Harden taking on their former team in OKC. So I guess that's a little bit of a narrative there for you. These guys teamed up, taking on their former team here. Maybe they rule Kyrie Irving out to let these guys go full in. I don't know, but I don't think that's going to happen. Just messing around there. But James Harden, Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, all kind of digging into each other's usage. I have continued to say Kevin Durant is my favorite option because he's the power forward, getting some post-up action down low, one-on-ones, whereas James Harden and Kyrie Irving are both on-ball heavy ball handler guards. So you get the point. They have the same role, whereas Kevin Durant is more of a low post-up guy. So whether it's James Harden or Kyrie Irving dribbling the ball, they're both going to be passing it down low to him. So I would prefer Kevin Durant. I would prefer Kyrie Irving based on his price tag, discount. But we all know the upside that James Harden has based on his fantasy point per minute production, 1.37 DK points per minute. Very good fantasy point per minute producer. So, if you're asking me my favorite options, if all three of them in, I'm going Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving based on the price tag and the mutual roles of Kyrie Irving and James Harden. If one of them gets ruled out, the other two become premier plays. Obviously, the other guys on Brooklyn I'm not all too interested in just because of how much usage these three guys are soaking up. These guys don't have any room for upside as far as I'm concerned. They're kind of just running around out there on the floor, playing some defense and giving the ball to these guys. So on the OKC side, it's Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, it's Al Horford. Both these guys are the main beneficiaries of this offense. We've seen Shai Gilgeous be able to get all the way to 50 DraftKings points. And in this Brooklyn match, I really do like him. Brooklyn does not play defense, so Shai Gilgeous makes a ton of sense tonight. Same rule for Al Horford at 5'9", seeing 30 minutes in his return, putting up 49 DraftKings points in this Brooklyn matchup. I love him. And as far as anyone else on the OKC side, that's kind of where it drops off. You got Darius Bazley, you got all these other guys, but they're all kind of rotation minutes. So we saw Maledon get a bit of a bump with no George Hill last time out, so he could be an intriguing value play. You could play a Diallo as well. But kind of risky options there. I'm looking at Shea Gilgeous. I'm looking at Al Horford. I'm looking to the big three. And that's pretty much, the extent of this game. Pretty easy to sum up, but some really good options because we know where the usage is going. Los Angeles Clippers at the Orlando Magic. Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, both listed as questionable. Patrick Beverley listed as questionable. However, I was seeing reports that he's going to be out for quite some time. So don't expect him to be back. Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, we got to keep an eye on them. As far as this total is concerned, this game comes in with a 2-point spread in favor of the Orlando Magic right now. So Vegas is expecting both these guys to remain out for sure because if they were in, there's no way that the Clippers would be underdogs. So on the Orlando side, it's pretty easy. It's Nikola Vucevic, it's Aaron Gordon, it's Evan Fournier. Similar to the game we just talked about, we know where all the usage is going. It's these three guys. Evan Fournier at 6'4" is my favorite play based on his price tag. He's got plenty of room for upside, so he makes a lot of sense. Aaron Gordon at 7'1" at the forward position makes a lot of sense as well. Only playing 26 minutes last time out because of the blowout, but we've seen him consistently playing upper 30s in minutes, and he's able to get up to 50 DraftKings points plus, so I like him. Clipper side, of course, if Kawhi Leonard and Paul George are out, which it does look like, it's Reggie Jackson, it's Luke Kennard, it's Serge Ibaka, Nicholas Batum, Lou Williams. Honestly, all these guys kind of got priced up, and they're all in very similar roles, though, so it's really weird picking one of them. I'm going to be relying on my projections for sure as far as who grades out to be the best. Reggie Jackson seems to be the safest option. I had some exposure to him last night because of the minutes he's getting and the fact that he's the starting point guard now. So that's the safest option as far as actually, having guaranteed upside. Luke Kennard, Nicholas Batum you could be going to because they're the wings that they need to get minutes. So yeah, a little bit of a risky proposition with all these guys. You could play Terrence Mann. Lou Williams continues to be just limited in his upside. They're playing Mann. Lou Williams is a guy we've been playing at DFS for a long time. He put up 33 DraftKings points last time out, which is kind of what we're used to at 5'7", but I don't think he can really get up much past that. It's really weird saying that because I've always been one to say, Lou Williams has uncapped upside, but with this rotation, I just think that's the case. So if I'm playing two guys, I'm playing Reggie Jackson, I'm playing Nicholas Batum, really. Weird dynamic. You would think with the two most heavy usage players being out, we'd get guys we really, really like, but this team's just so deep and they're spreading their minutes so thin, it's hard to have interest. Denver taking on San Antonio. Nikola Jokic comes in at a 10-1 price tag in this one. This one comes in with a 224 over-under with a 4-point spread in favor of the Denver Nuggets. So expected to be a close game, which means we're automatically going to have interest in Nikola Jokic. Nikola Jokic, the top DK point per minute producer on the season so far, putting up 1.69 DK points per minute. Got him projected for mid-30s in minutes, if not up to 40 in a close game. So this guy can literally put you up 70-plus draft points. We've seen it, him putting up 72 draft points back on the 17th. 66, 62, and then back down to 43 and 42 the last two times out. However, we've seen his price tag come all the way down from 11K to 10-1, so you love to see that. And if he has another big game, you're getting that price tag discount. So I like Nikola Jokic. Jamal Murray at 6'9", an interesting option. That can get hot. However, I think his upside's a little capped with Michael Porter Jr. being back. I continue to say this. I would prefer Michael Porter Jr. at 6'6" on the wing. I do think that he's a great play. DeMar DeRozan, DeJounte Murray are my two favorite options on the San Antonio side. These are the guys that are getting the most usage, so they both make sense as plays. DeJounte Murray being my favorite one based on his price tag at 6'1", consistently putting up mid-30s, if not 40-plus DraftKings points, and at only 6'1", we continue to see his price tag decrease. I don't know why, because this guy has been very productive, so I will take the price tag and run with it. I like DeJounte Murray a lot at that price tag. LaMarcus Aldridge at 5'5", Keldon Johnson at 5'7", kind of cutting into each other, so it's tough saying who's going to have the big game. One of them typically will have a big game. The other one will kind of play second fiddle, so both of them make sense. Just playing both of them may be difficult. I mean, I think they would both grade out pretty well in my projection model, I'm guessing, later on in the day at their price tag. So both of them are intriguing options. And then everyone else in the Denver side and San Antonio side, I'm not really looking to with a fully healthy team. These guys, their upside's kind of capped. So that would be the extent of my interest in this one. Last game on the slate, Dallas taking on Utah. Luka Doncic comes in with a 10-6 price tag. This game comes with a 4.5-point spread in favor of the Utah Jazz. Donovan Mitchell, Spida is questionable. With a concussion, I would expect him to be back. I don't know. He has a clear concussion protocol, and then he can be back. It seems like guys return from concussions real quick, so it's a quick turnaround time. I would think he would be back. If he's out, it's going to give a bump up to Jordan Clarkson, Rudy Gobert, Mike Conley. All these guys become really good plays. If he's in, I still like these guys priced down here because they're priced at 7.5, 6.4, and 6K. I think there's still room for upside at their price tags. Rudy Gobert putting up 68 DraftKings points last time out. Ridiculous performance, so that shows what kind of upside he has. Jordan Clarkson putting up 44 DraftKings points. So yeah, these guys all have a ton of upside. Of course, I would like them more if Donovan Mitchell is out. However, I would consider playing one or two of them if Mitchell's in as well. Luka Doncic at 10.6 is an obvious play. You have to have interest in him every single time out. Top fantasy point per minute producer in the league. He is currently second in the league in DK points per minute. It's Nikola Jokic, Luka Doncic, then Giannis Antetokounmpo. So, gotta have interest in Luka Doncic every time he takes the floor. Not to mention his upside for minutes. He's playing consistently, literally around 40 minutes. So, you gotta like him. Kristaps Porzingis at 7.9 continues to see his minutes capped out in the low 30s. So, I will continue to fade him. That's pretty much the extent of my interest in this game. You could play, a Joe Ingles, a Tim Hardaway Jr., throw in a few of these rotation guys with some upside. But more of dart plays, honestly, in my opinion. There's better options on the slate. So with all that being said, I got to give you guys my lock of the night. Let's get into it. And my lock of the night tonight is going to be DeAndre Hunter. I had mentioned him earlier in the video at this 6.3 price tag, taking on this Washington team who plays no defense and consistently getting around 40 minutes a game. I absolutely love this guy. He's scoring points, he's getting rebounds, he's getting assists, he's getting blocks, he's getting steals, he's doing it all, and he's very affordable at a 6.3 price tag. Last time out going 1 for 4 from behind the arc, the time before going 2 for 7 from behind the arc, and still putting up 36 and 39 DraftKings points. At this 6.3 price tag, I have no doubt in my mind that he is my lock of the night in this fast, up-tempo games. So get him in your lineup because DeAndre Hunter is my lock of the night. So there you have it, guys. DeAndre Hunter, get him in your lineups. If you did enjoy the content at any point in this video, if you could please leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future content that I upload. That would be greatly appreciated. I have released that Patreon package for NBA, so check that out, link below in the description as well. If you're interested in some further content from me, get access to my premium projections, my core plays, all of my statistics sheets, people winning a lot of money over there. I keep getting comments in the YouTube chat, keep getting comments on Patreon, so thank you for the support, guys, and I'm glad I've been able to offer you some value. And lastly, check out Thrive Fantasy. Use promo code KJK DFS to receive a 100% deposit bonus when you deposit $20 up to $50 today. Anywhere from $20 to $50 when you deposit, they will match that, whatever you put in there. Free money. Take advantage while you can. Great app. I think there's some money to be won over there, so check it out. And with that being said, that is all from me. Thank you for tuning into the video. Wish you all the best of luck tonight, and we will see you in the next one.